We're here with JC Tran. Thanks for coming by, JC.
Thank you.
So JC is known for his incredible focus during poker tournaments. How do you prepare before the tournaments? Let's start there.
First off, especially when you're playing a main event, you want to be well rested, not just the night before, but like a few nights before that too. You know, a lot of guys I notice, like especially in Vegas, you know, LA, they like to go out. You know, I mean, young guys too. They like to go out and party right before the main event.
They're hitting the clubs.
Yeah, you know, usually a lot of main events, there's 2 day ones, day 1A, day 1B. A lot of guys like to party the day before day 1A and play day 1B. But they don't realize that when you party, you know, sometimes how much you party, you know, you don't
need
have
recovery time.
Yes, the recovery time. For me, if I went out and partied tonight, it's going to take me at least a day or 2 full days to recover.
Get back to
totally
normal.
And you know, even so, if I do recover, you know, up to 90% to where I can actually go play day 1. But come around day 2, late day 2, it might catch up to me, and I might be really exhausted. So first thing, most important, is try not to party a few days before the main event.
And what do you do during those days? Like, how do you spend your time?
Well, I usually like to relax. If the weather's nice, I like to get out there and, you know, play around in golf.
Get some sunshine before you're stuck in the poker room.
You know, go out, get some fresh air. If not, I like to go to the gym with a couple of my boys, play a little basketball, you know, get the blood flowing. Other than that, you know, hey, go catch a movie or just relax in the room. I mean, make sure you eat good too. You know, you don't want to eat too late. You know, you don't want to eat a bunch of junk food that might, you know, hurt your stomach or just, you know, make you feel, you know, nauseated on the day of the tournament or whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you prepare the morning before the tournament? You're about to start playing at noon. What time do you wake up?
Well, I usually like to go to bed, like get to bed before 2 a.m. But that usually doesn't happen when you're actually sharing a room with another guy. You know, maybe somebody like Nam who's in front of a computer all the time. You know, he doesn't see. Nam has sleeping problems. He doesn't sleep till 3, 4 in the morning.
Oh,
and if
really?
he does, he'll wake up at 5, 6 in the morning. Well, I like to be able to get to bed before 2 a.m. and sometimes, you know, getting to bed by 3 a.m. I'm pretty lucky. So when I sleep, I wake up. I set my alarm usually about 11, 11:30.
So you don't need a lot of prep time?
And if I wake up and I say, hey, you know, I'm still tired, I go back to sleep for like another hour. You know,
you'll be late to the tournament?
Yes, I mean, because we get so much chips to start with. You know, you really, it's okay to, you know, to lose 500 or maybe even 1,000 in chips when you get 20 to 30,000 in starting chips. So, you know, I sleep in, and when I get up, I don't rush. I just relax. You know.
Do you eat before the tournaments?
Yes, I like to have a light breakfast, you know, sometimes just a couple of eggs or maybe like a small little sandwich or something, breakfast sandwich. But other than that, I don't eat too much. You know, like you really don't want to rush yourself to the tournament because, you know, when you're rushing yourself, you get there, you're anxious, you sit down, your first hand might be, you know, chaos.
Absolutely. So once you get down to the tournament area, you always look so focused at the tables. How do you do that?
Well, this is when it's important. When you get deep down in the tournament, you know, this is when your body's tired, your mind's tired. You've been playing for several days. You know, this is when
you need endurance to play that much poker,
and you're very vulnerable to make mistakes here. And this is when it all counts. You make a mistake here, you know, you can be out. It could be your tournament life. So I take my time. You know, I ask myself a lot of questions. You know, even when I'm sure I have the best hand, I like to ask myself a few more questions. You know, hey,
what kind of questions do you ask yourself?
I ask myself, hey, what is this guy betting with? What if I was in his shoe? What would I be betting with? You know, who is this guy? Is he capable of bluffing? Is he capable of trapping me here? Is he capable of calling a raise? Is he capable of re-raising? Stuff like that, you know. And you know, how much do I need to call the turn if I call the flop bet here? How much do I need to call the river? You know, what is this guy going to bet? What's his next bet? What's his next step? Stuff like that. You know, what's going to happen when a scare card comes? What's going to happen when a brick comes, you know, a rag comes, you know, and I ask myself all these questions. I don't go ahead and jump into just calling right away unless I'm sure that it's the right play. And you know, sometimes that's when I make mistakes. Is like I rush myself.
When you go too quickly.
Yes, but when I get a chance, I like to take my time and think, especially in deep stages of the tournament.
So while you're analyzing the situations, you often put your opponent on the range of hands. Are you often right?
You know, that's one of my great part of my game is my card reading ability. I think I'm pretty good at it. You know.
Well, how do you read your opponents? What are some tells that you pick up?
Most of it is just betting. You know, like their betting pattern. You know, how much they bet when they do have a hand, how much they bet when they don't. And then sometimes it's like the psychological aspect where are they going to reverse it? Like, okay, this guy knows that when I bet the pot, I don't have a hand. So all of a sudden they have a hand.
And they bet the pot.
Yeah. So now I'm studying the guy. How does he look? Does he look like this was an honest bet, or is he actually looking like, hey, this is like a sneaky bet? Like this guy, the last time I made a pot bet, I was bluffing. Now I'm going to make a pot bet because I have a hand. Stuff like that. And I try to read my opponent's body gestures. I ask them questions. I see how they respond. Sometimes. So
you do use table talk to get information?
Yeah, but you know what? That's not like a majority of me making my decisions. Based on how they're. That's just a little bit of
extra information.
Extra information that adds to my decision. But most of it is just, this guy's image throughout the day. Has he been solid? Has he been aggressive or whatnot? And you just base it on that, and you say, okay, I give him credit here for a hand because he's been playing solid all day. Whereas another guy can be raising and betting every hand. You really don't know if he has it or not, and you got to find out by maybe making a raise or information call, information raise, such and such, and you go on from there. And you try to be right as much as you can, but
that's all you can
when
do.
you're wrong, that's poker.
So fast forward a little bit to the final table. You're going into a WPT final table. How do you prepare yourself for the lights, the audience, everything that comes with being at a WPT final table?
Well, at my first several WPT final tables, I had a lot of distractions outside of just the table itself.
Really?
My very first one, I was very nervous. I came there, I mean, who wouldn't be,
Absolutely.
The lights, the cameras. The most important thing is like, man, if I make this call and it's bad, the whole world's going to see it when they watch this.
And how do you deal with that?
And you know what? It got to the point where it's like, who cares? I mean, everyone makes bad plays and bad calls. Don't let that affect your decision because you're playing for millions here.
Yeah.
Focus on winning the millions first and worry about all the other stuff later. And I learned that, hey, it's okay to make a bluff here and be wrong. So what if I'm wrong? Yeah. So what if they see it later? If I feel like
you
that's the correct play at the time, do it. But, I stop myself from making a lot of plays or, making a lot of bets or calls due to the fact that I'm afraid that I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. And, everyone's going to see it later on TV. So basically, I overcame that, and I basically said, hey, is this a regular final table? Go in there and play and relax. Don't worry about the cameras. Don't worry about the lights. And the other thing that I've been able to do in the last few final tables is just, when you make a final table, you get a lot of guys that come up and give you advice. A lot of them are great advice, but you know what? That's not the time for advices right now.
Because you got there already.
Yes, you've been playing for 4 or 5 days. Stick to what you've been doing. And a lot of these guys are giving you advice. They're friendly advice,
Yeah, and they want to help you.
Exactly. And some of these guys, they don't realize, hey, I'm in a zone right now. I'm playing my best poker.
Definitely.
Leave me at it. If you see me slip out of it, pull me aside and say, hey, you know what? I noticed you doing this wrong. But so now, I a lot of my friends, they kind of know that part. I kind of let them know, hey guys, please, right before the final table, just let me relax and focus because getting advice from 10 different guys is not going to help me. It's going to just jam me up, and I might freeze when it comes to a big hand.
So what do you usually do all day before a final table? They usually start at 5 o'clock. You've got a little more time.
I usually like to get up, get something good to eat. Get plenty of rest. At least get something good to eat. Have time. I go get a massage. Just relax. Just all relaxation. And afterwards, I still have a little time. I just kind of close my eyes for a little and take a little nap. And,
do you ever do research on your opponents at the final tables?
Sometimes I do, but the thing is,
You've been playing with them for days.
The most important thing is how you've been researching them this whole tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've been playing, they could be great players or bad players, the last couple of years, but how have they been playing this whole tournament?
The last 4 or 5 days.
Exactly. If they've been playing some great poker, you got to respect that. And, I just go by the experience that I have during that tournament and go with it because a lot of guys don't play 4 days one way and the final table, they switch and play another way. They like to keep it the same, so that's really important.
So since you do have so much experience, how much of an advantage do you think that is against players who don't?
I think it's a huge advantage. When you have that experience, you come in and that experience actually intimidates some of your opponent. They're like, hey, this guy's been here before. He knows what he's doing and stuff like that. And you always know, especially in the World Poker Tour structure, you always know when's like what level it's crucial, what blinds are crucial, you know, how to adjust when it went from when it, you know, goes from handed to 5 to 4 to 3 and heads up, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, first I didn't have that experience. You know, I come in, I bust out fifth in a couple. I never really got a chance to play four-handed, three-handed, and then I get down to I'm down to like 2, 3-handed, and then I bust out. So I can finally to be able to win and know how it feels to win. Just being there, the experience is priceless almost.
Great. Well, I hope you're there again very soon, JC. Thanks for being here today.
I hope so too. Thank you very much.
Lizzie Harrison with JC Tran for Card Player TV.